Welcome, flip clock fans. We're going to look at some special considerations when working on a Copal flip clock. Namely, we will review how the alarm works and possibly how to lubricate and adjust the alarm function if needed. Here we're looking at the Copal 229 in yellow. This flip clock appeared in the 1992 film Reservoir Dogs. Blink and you'll miss it. Yes, that was it. We're going to jump right into the inner workings of this flip clock alarm and possibly answer some questions people have had about the alarm functions. I'm going to show you how to take the alarm apart. Now the reasons for doing that may be that there's dust in here and it feels really weird when you're turning it around, which could slow the clock down, I guess. Or the alarm's not functioning correctly. It's not going off on the right time, which could have been from someone taking this apart in the first place. So there's a correct way to get it back together. The way it's supposed to work is the alarm's up. It should go off at 7 p.m. And it does. And what's happening there is when this is pushed down, it's stopping this from happening. But when this goes off, this arm moves this way, which undoes this button, unpresses the button. So you can see when it goes off, it allows that button to become unpressed, which completes this circuit and causes this to buzz. So I want to talk about how to get this apart and probably more importantly, how to get it back together. So what you have to do first is you have to get that E-clip off of there. Those things want to go flying, so you have to be very careful. You could use a pick. In this case, I'm going to try to use a razor blade, point of a razor blade, and I'm going to try to peel this out, pry this out here, there. Then after that, there is a washer here, which is really, it's hard to get off sometimes because it's fallen down into the groove. It's doing its job. See, it's not going to let this come off. Well, there it went. I'll have to chase that. Oh, there it is. Good. So what happens now is this comes off. You can see where it might need to be lubricated because that's been rubbing on there for years. Those ramps drop into those holes, which allows this whole thing to move forward, which will allow this lever arm to move forward, which unpresses the button. So that's kind of the process. There's a spring here that pushes that forward. And then this device here is what's telling the time. So it knows what time it is here. So this gear here, once it's removed, this is the clickety-clack. This is the thing that makes it holds the wheel in position, but also makes the clicking noise when you're turning this. It rubs against some ridges in here. So if you remove this, then your time's off because the time comes in from here, goes through this gear, this wheel picks it up. That's how it knows what time it is. So if this has come off, you have to figure out how to get it back on correctly. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Show you how to get this all back together. I believe these holes, and you'll see a hole in each one of these 3 gears. I believe these holes at the top there are part of the assembly process, the initial assembly process. When the holes are lined up, so those 2 holes are lined up, and it's just dropped into place. As you know, when that drops into place, this moves forward, the alarm goes on. So you drop that into place, put your spring on. This can go one of 2 ways. If we're going to put to where the hole is up, it doesn't have to work that way. But if you start this way and you turn it 180 degrees, it'll go off on either the opposite AM or PM. We want that to stay that way so that I can get this on. I'm going to use a piece of solder because it's easy to remove. So that's going to hold that in place. On the other side, see, I could try it this way, but I'm going to try to see if putting a piece of tape on the other side kind of holds everything together. So probably in some way they had it in something like that to where they could remove it after they applied it. So what we're doing is we've got it set at 5 p.m. We have the alarm is in the dropped state. It's in the state it should be alarming. So it needs to be at 5 p.m. As this comes on, I've got to pull this back. This gear has to mesh with this gear here. That should be it. So everything's in place. I'll remove the tape, and I could see up under here if I get it all off. Or just make sure it's whole. Looks like it all came off. Because that's soft, it's solder, I'll just pull and that'll come right out. So, if I did this correctly, you should hear a click at 5 p.m. That's how you do it. Now to get these, the E-clip and the washer back on, when I use tweezers, that'll often it'll snap through there and it flies. And when they fly, they'll go far. So there's the washer. Now the E-clip, I'm just going to go ahead and pick it up with the tape. It's going to be a little harder to position it. So there's a groove there that's got to go in. Once that's in, it's just got to be pressed in. You can use whatever you want. You can get fancy. I'm going to get fancy today. So I'm going to use these pliers wrench. Got to make sure that's in the groove and push down. Still working. Often people assume that these switches are the cause of their problem, of why their alarm's not working. Usually that is not the case. These Omron switches you'll find in many flip clock alarms and flip clock radios, and they're still working to this day. So I'm going to show you how to test this to make sure it's working correctly. You'll need a tester that has continuity setting. That just means that when these two are touched together, you should hear a beep. That's going to allow us to test the switch. So if you look at this Omron switch, you've got right here, it says COM. That means this is the common. The power is coming into the common. Inside here, when it's connected, it'll go back to the alarm, which will set the alarm off. NC means normally closed, which means that in the normal condition, this is a closed circuit. In other words, what is the normal condition? That's when the button is not pressed. So it's not pressed, it should beep. It's working correctly. Now, so that means when it is pressed, it should shut off. It's working correctly. Now over here it's normally open. We're not using this, but if you wanted to test the switch all the way, you would get your connector onto the common. When I touch it, it should not beep. When I press it, you should hear the beep. So this switch is working correctly. Well, there you have it, the Copal 229 flip clock alarm in yellow, the Reservoir Dogs flip clock. Well, thanks for taking the time.